welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and like the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Thank you for watching.
Welcome everyone to the fourth day of the fall marathon, where we will see the fourth part of the blind prank, which I've been procrastinating on for no reason whatsoever. This is actually pretty fluffy, and this is just going to be an apology for yesterday, where angst was just angst.
KyouHaba knew from the very start that this would go south really quick. It happened with all of their pranks. When KyouHaba decided to yeet himself down the stairs for his pass-out prank, Kyotani blew up on him for acting so reckless. And vice versa whenever the spiker decided to drown himself in the bathtub, giving the setter nearly a heart attack. He for sure lectured him for a long time. And even more so when he finished sobbing, watching all of the third years during their drowning prank and how it all went terribly wrong. He didn't want another blow-up from Kyotani, but at the same time he didn't see another way around it. What am I going to do? Kyotani wasn't even in the same town as him, making matters only worse. He couldn't remember exactly what it was that he was doing, but he for sure knew that he didn't want to be there. The setter was told that he would receive a call once they made it to their destination, which he was only relieved to know because he is in all honesty a worrywart. So he just waited for the call, and from there he would figure it out. Maybe. Hopefully. He about jumped out of his seat on the couch when his phone rang. What? He glanced to see who was calling, and just as he so desperately hoped it wasn't, it was Kyotani. No, I'm not ready. Now he was thoroughly panicking. What was he going to do? He didn't have enough time. Plus, if he didn't accept the call, he would surely expect the spiker to find a way back to Miyagi and hunt him down. Realizing he had no other option, he accepted the call, fidgeting with the throw pillow on the couch. Hello? The uncertainty and that slight tremble in his voice was not unnoticed by the blonde. I made it to Tokyo. Kyo? Well, now he's done it. KyouHaba? Is something going on? That sweet, delicate voice was something that not most were giving the pleasure to hear. He wondered how he got so lucky to have the pleasure of getting on his good side. What was he going to do? Shigeru? Damn it. I can't see. It was silent on the other line. His anxiety was growing by the second. He glanced out the window. The skies were dark, with the half-moon shining dimly at the woods in his backyard. The only sound was the cracking of the wood in the fireplace, warming himself up by the fire. What do you mean? I'm not sure. It was silent again. Curse these pranks. Why did they always choose something extreme like this? Suddenly, there was shuffling on the other line. Kyo, what are you doing? Hold up. He heard the phone set down, and footsteps getting farther away. What? It was minutes before he heard the footsteps again, approaching quickly, and the phone picked up again. I asked my dad. I'm taking the next train to Miyagi now. Wait, what? He didn't know. He messed up. Bad. Wait, no. That's not necessary. What are you talking about? You can't see. You literally had to clarify if it was me who called you. He heard a round of curses mumbled by the spiker as he packed his bags, from what he assumed at least. Aren't you home alone? Yeah, but... Exactly. This isn't good. He wasn't giving him any time to speak and explain the misunderstanding. And is that the fireplace I hear? Get away from that. Shit, I'll be there in 2 hours. Just stay put. He hung up. Oh fuck. This is bad. This is very, very bad. He began pacing around the fireplace for well over an hour upon realizing just how much he royally fucked up. Kyotani was on a trip and he just got there, and upon hearing that he was potentially disabled, the spiker is now taking a train back to Miyagi to come to his house and realizing that was all for nothing because absolutely nothing is wrong. He is going to get more than chewed out. Getting lost in his thoughts, he didn't realize the fireplace stand was in fact in his path. He tripped and knocked the stand down. In a lousy and pointless attempt to catch it, he accidentally stuck his hand in a pile of embers that were still fresh. He quickly pulled his hand back upon feeling the fiery pain in his hand. The cold air made the sting feel worse. He cursed, trying to wring his hand out like maybe the pain would fling off. But it was no use. He glanced at his hand, seeing bright red blisters already forming on his hand. He already saw some of his skin trying to flake away, and then traces of blood ooze along with other fluids from his hand in an attempt to fight the burn. He really should have listened to Kyotani, blind or not. He ran to the kitchen, already hearing the metal stand hit the floor, and turned on the cold water, running his hand under it. The sharp stinging only intensified. Nothing was working. This was stupid. He was stupid. He was stupid for pulling a prank like that. Karma did not take long to do its job. He was so absorbed in trying to stop the pain, he didn't notice Kyotani approach him. He gasped and stepped back, feeling the spiker's hand on his. Sorry, it's me. KyouHaba stared at him with wide eyes. No, I'm sorry. You didn't really give me a chance to explain it was a prank. Kyotani chuckled. I kind of figured, seeing you run into the kitchen without running into anything. The blonde gently moved his hand out and took a clean towel and patted it dry. You're not mad? Not mad. I'm relieved for now, but I'm sure it'll hit later. He laughed. Besides, he pulled out the medicine kit and applied the cream onto KyouHaba's hand that was finally soothing the pain. It seems you face the consequences in a different manner. KyouHaba giggled. No kidding. Kyotani grabbed a roll of bandages and gently wrapped it around his hand, careful not to wrap it too tight. It was odd. For once after a prank, it didn't result in one of them lashing out at each other. I'm sorry. You left your trip early because of me. If anything, I should be thanking you. I've been trying to get out of that stupid party for weeks. With him being so close, he saw much more detail in his features. It was hard to tell because of his eyeliner, but he actually had long eyelashes and small freckles decorating his nose. He was beautiful. What? He looked away, embarrassed. Oh, nothing. Thank you for coming to my rescue. He laughed awkwardly. Anytime for you. Well, there went his heart. Why did fate have to be so cruel and make him a boy? If he were a girl, falling in love with him would be so much easier. Because the spiker was straight, and to be honest, he didn't even know where he stood with his own sexuality. It was definitely a shocker when he figured out he found guys, Kyotani specifically, attractive. So the only thing he could do was love from a distance. He can live with that. Yachi was panicking. Only recently, she had been invited to the prank group chat. She'd been outed for her attraction to the goddess herself, Kyoko, and now she was about to prank her. Okay, Hitoga. You can do this. Just something short and simple. She'd never done a prank in her life, and honestly, she doesn't think she has it in her. Maybe she'll cave in during the prank. That would be okay, right? At least she tried. That was enough, right? She was sitting in her room, waiting for Kyoko to walk into her bedroom so that they could study together. With Kyoko being a third year, she knew a lot more than she did and was always happy to help her with her studies. Which she was more than grateful for. Plus, this was an excuse to spend more time with her. The thought of her made her feel flushed. Why did she have to fall in love with another girl? Kyoko, of all people. The goddess of Karasuno that practically everyone worships. Tanaka and Nishinoya being her #1 fans. Seeing how perfect the Ravenette was and how completely ordinary she was, there was no hope. The chances of her even having the slightest luck in becoming her lover were slim, extremely slim. Besides, there was that pestering age gap. If only she had been born a year or two earlier, maybe she would have had more of a chance. Her heart ached, realizing once the year was over, Kyoko will be graduating and leaving for good. It hurt. A lot. She looked up, hearing the door to her bedroom opening. She saw the manager walk in, but looked away, remembering the prank. Hitoga-chan? She hummed an acknowledgement. Are you ready to get into statistics? Maybe she could do something a little bit more minor. This was her first prank after all. Something extreme would be a bit much. Not necessarily. The raven laughed lightly, and it sounded like a sweet melody in Yachi's ears. Okay, she was definitely simping now. Kyoko sat down and pulled out her own materials. Yachi was always amazed how organized she was. From the way her book bag was neatly arranged, to the way she took notes and annotated to get a deeper understanding of the material. And there were even times she would passionately go on a rant about the material she was learning, which Yachi found adorable. She could sit back and watch and listen for hours on end and never get tired of it. She was so beautiful, it hurt. Hitoga? Right. Sorry, I spaced out. She looked at the first year, uncertain. What? Are you feeling okay? She tilted her head with a hint of worry crossing her face. Yeah, I'm fine. Why? She wasn't buying it. Something's wrong. Yachi sighed. I can't see. More like I'm having trouble seeing. It wasn't entirely a lie. She'd always had problems with her eyes. If she strained them too much by looking at a screen or studying too long, then her vision would get blurry. It's something she's been meaning to get to the doctor for, but it's always slipped her mind. Kyoko immediately found her way to Yachi's side, like they were pulled together with the force of a magnet. She pulled her face in close, real close. She inspected everything, the freckles all over her face, the deep blush decorating her rosy cheeks, and her sparkling chestnut brown eyes. Kyoko! She quickly pulled away, but moved to reposition her glasses on her face. She took them off and placed them gently onto Yachi's nose. Is that better? She smiled. The prescription was far too strong for her eyes, so the image of Kyoko smiling considerately was nothing more than a smudge in her vision. She giggled before it turned into a whole laughter, causing her sides to ache. Hitsuko-chan, why are you laughing? She certainly wasn't complaining. Her small snorts were oddly enough found attractive and like a beautiful harmony that could go on and never get old. Nothing. You're just too adorable for your own good. Did she openly admit that out loud? Yes. Does she just now realize what she said after she spoke the words that can't be reversed? Yes. And is she going to casually brush that off her shoulder to save herself the embarrassment of rejection? Of course. She handed Kyoko back her glasses and went over to her dresser where she applied some eye drops to her eyes. This should be good. Thank you for helping though. Although, without your glasses, you can't see. Kyoko rested her head on her hand that was propped up against the table. Some sacrifices are worth taking. Was she actually flirting? Yet she couldn't tell if this is something that girls did, or if this was genuine. Let's get back to studying. She smiled, seeing that Kyoko got back to work. She was so in love with this girl. Maybe she could have a chance. Maybe. Alright, that was the end of the fourth part of the blind prank. I hope you enjoyed the fluff, because the next part, the fifth part, which will be premiering tomorrow, is not going to be so friendly. For the fourth day of the fall marathon, this is kind of more of a philosophical question, but do you think the changing in the leaves represent wisdom? If so, what is your definition of wisdom? Thank you for watching. As always, if you'd like to be kept up to date, check out any of my social medias. I hope that you all have a wonderful day or evening.